Hello. So I finished another book and thought I'd talk to you about it. Why not? I have been choosing books lately that give big thoughts, make me have deep big thoughts. Why do I do that to myself? Like, I normally read to escape, but also it is important to read to understand social constructs and abstract ideas, and it is important to read to understand the world, both past and present, because that is how humans learn. The problem is I've been reading about all of these in the same time, so oh hello, you also read, did you? The problem is that I are reading these. Oh no, it's not a problem. That's wrong of me to say. It's that my brain is continuously reading these, and I'm continuously having deep thoughts. And like, I enjoy reading these books in time, and I'm enjoying reading these books, giving time to them. The book I'm talking about is this one, Kim Jiyoung, born 1982. This is like, it's similar to Han Kang's The Vegetarian, which I read a while ago and had deep thoughts about. You don't have many deep thoughts, do you, Kat? But this also gave me deep thoughts because it starts off at the end, which I think is very interesting. It starts off at the end. It starts off with the problem. If you want to read without spoilers, I would click off this video. I'd swipe up, swipe down, whichever was better for you. If I give spoilers, I'm sorry. I have thoughts. Surprisingly. No, not surprisingly. This book, it's relatable to women, I think. It's very relatable. And I think it's a good book to read now more than ever. It's a book that opens your eyes even more to the struggles that women go through. This is a book about the perspective of life through one woman, but it also talks about the perspective of other women in the same situations and similar situations throughout life. And it's beautiful and it's heartbreaking, and you relate to it as a woman because you're like, yeah, I've done that. I've had that happen to me. This has happened to me because of this. Maybe not to the same level. This was based in the 1980s, 1990s, 2000s, and 2010s. 40-year time span. In 1980s, she's born, and she's the second child of her family, and she slowly comes to realize that her and her sister are nothing compared to her little brother, and her little brother gets more food and gets more attention from the grandparents. And you get to the teenage years, and she has her first experience of and being stalked by boys from her school, and it's just because she smiled at them, and you think, oh, that's happened to me. And her dad is like, yeah. And her dad is annoyed at her for calling her for no reason, and for calling him for no reason. And it's sad, you know? Of course it is. Like, and it's angry, and you feel anger with it. And then you go to her adulthood, and in her late teenage years and her adulthood, she struggles to get a job because she's a woman. And that the company don't hire her for projects because she's a woman and she could get pregnant, especially that she's married. And her boyfriend, that becomes an ex, blames her for things that she has no control over because of society. And even as you get to even in the beginning, the husband feels a little ashamed of her behavior. Shoo. If you add nothing to the conversation, shoo. The husband feels ashamed of her behavior. But at the same time, he's concerned about her, which is different from The Vegetarian, where the husband has no concern for his wife. He doesn't care. So that is different. But even near the end, like when her in-laws and her husband's family is pushing her to have a child, she asks her husband what he gives up when they have a child. And he says, oh, well, I give up spending time with my friends and feeling guilty about work dinners. And she's like, I give up my health, my life. What do you give up? And like, she sees this injustice, but she doesn't speak out. And I think that's relevant to all women. Like, when women have children, what do we give up? A lot. It's definitely a book that opens your eyes a lot. And by the end, the last chapter is done through the eyes, I think, of her therapist or her psychologist, who's a man. And at first you think he's sympathetic to her. And then you realize he has a wife. And he talks about his wife and how she was really smart in school. And how she could have become a doctor. And I don't think she does. Or she does and then gives it up for the child. And then how he sees his wife's happiness over doing maths as strange, and that it's below her, but it's the only happiness she has, and she even says it's the only thing I can control. And the last page of the book talks about an employee that he has, that she's been working for him for a year, or a couple of years, and she's been trying to get pregnant, and now that she's pregnant, she is leaving. And this is definitely a spoiler, so if you really do not want spoilers, please away. And the way he talks about women, you're like, you're the problem. So this is the last line of the book. I'll have to make sure her replacement is unmarried. And like, even the best female employees can cause many problems if they don't have childcare issue taken care of. And I also, the things that Kim Jiyoung says, she says, oh, you'll help out with your child, you'll help out with your house? What do you mean you'll help out? It's your child too. It's your house too. It's your income too. What do you mean help out? And she gets annoyed, and then she apologizes. She apologizes for getting annoyed when she's speaking the truth. It's his child too. It's her husband's child too. Daehyun, I think, is his name. I think, yes, it's Daehyun. Let me check to be 100%. Yeah, Daehyun. And he's like, oh, well, I'll help out if I can. What do you mean help out? I was so angry when he said that. I'll help out. What do you mean? It's your child. What do you mean? It's your house. You don't want to keep your house clean? You don't want to look after your child that you helped make and that she didn't really want to begin with? Like, the audacity. But this book, it really, really, really highlights the problems that women face. And like, I've tried to talk about it with other people, and you see their perspectives are so different on it. And I highly, 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 highly recommend this book. It's short. It's about 160 pages. I finished it in 3 days, reading it on the train. I recommend it to the ends of the earth and back. I gave 5 stars on my like book app that I have. I'm in love with this book. It's a book that it has that feminine rage, that female rage that is underlined underneath everything, and that women understand. So yeah, I highly recommend this book. And if you have recommendations to books similar, I want to read her other book, Cho Nam Joo's other book. Cho Nam Joo? Che, surely. I want to read her other book because it was so good. So I highly recommend. And if you have books similar to this or books you want to recommend to me, please do. And I hope you enjoy reading.